Good catch, kiddo. Adding, subtracting, multiplication, next is division. Luckily, division and multiplication are both as easy as each other. So speaking of multiplication, let's review. When multiplying two numbers of the same sign, the answer is going to be, everyone, positive, exactly, because two negatives multiplied together make a positive, and two positive multiplied together stays positive. And the way to think about that is two negatives create a positive, just like in the English language. Then we have, when multiplying two numbers of different signs, there's going to be an odd number of negative integers that you're going to be multiplying. So that means that it's going to be a negative number. So the product is going to be negative. Now you can use counters to model dividing integers. The diagram below shows 12 negative counters separated into 4 equal groups. And the solution to this division problem is going to be how many are in those equal groups. Not total, but in each group. Because we have negative 12 divided by 4. We had 12 negative integers in here. We divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And there are 1, 2, 3 negative integers in each group. Which makes the answer negative 4. Negative 3. Now let's use this one. Use the counters to solve, and you'll be really happy to know this is the only math that you're going to have to do this whole assignment. So we have to make negative 10 integers. I'm just going to do it like this. I want it to be a circle with a negative sign in it. And on the test on Friday, I expect you guys, when you have to do maths, I expect you to do a circle with a negative sign in it. A lot of you are getting lazy and just doing tiny little negatives like this. When you did negative 10, you're like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm like, what is that? Looks like Africa. Okay? I expect you to be writing it so it's perfectly clear that they are negative integers. So I'm creating 10 negative integers. And it's telling me that I have to create 5 equal groups. And in order to do that, I'm just going to circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have created 5 Stewie Griffins. I mean 5 equal groups. And in each one of them, how many integers are in each one? Caitlin? 2. 2 what? Positive or negative integers? Negative integers. So the answer is going to be negative 2. The answer is going to be negative 2.
Wait, so it's the same thing as like multiplying, but you're dividing, like addition and everything?
Actually, that's a perfect segue, Chloe, into this. That's a great question. It says here on the back side of the next page, how is negative 12 divided by 4 equals negative 3 related to negative 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to negative 12?
Well, I think they're just the same thing, you're just dividing now.
Yes.
Everything's the same, you're just dividing.
And it's actually called inverse operations. They're inverse operations. It undoes what the previous thing did for it. The same way that if you have your hand out, you get added $5 in your hand, then someone subtracts $5 from your hand, you are up and down nothing. Exactly. You're right back to holding your hand out. Now, after you have inverse operations written, I want to discuss something about the quality of some of the work that I checked this weekend. So this is going to go over there for now. Now, with that packet of integers that we were discovering, the addition integers where we started with a group and then we finished on our own, there was such low quality work from students who can do so much better that it astounded me. And I'm talking about the whole, all of my pre-algebra students. Okay, there were some in every class. Some classes had more than others, and I don't remember specifically if this class was any worse or better than another. However, this is the type of quality that some of the questions were answered. For example, let's apply it to this. How is negative 12 divided by 4 equal to negative 3 related to negative 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to negative 12? So this is the type of thing that I saw. Oh, all right, I'm just going to read through this and check this out. That's my middle school voice. Okay, so it doesn't have gender. It's maybe a guy or girl, but it's just not me. So, all right, so I know what I'm going to do. I've read those words, and I'm going to say exactly how they're related. Don't write this. They are both, see both like related? They are both number 1 on this page of notes. That's how they're related. I am such a mathematician, guys. I'm going to outsmart this 32-year-old dude. I'm a genius. You can like and subscribe to my smartest middle schooler alive trickingteachers.com YouTube. Okay? See how low quality that is? I'm making a joke of it, but the thing is, a lot of you wrote this. In our packet that we had the other day, it said, write 4 different sums that are equal to -5. And when you asked you to explain it, you answered, they all equal -5. Duh. Right? They're telling you to do something that is equal to -5. Let me tell you all about it. They equal -5. Okay. All right? So that's why I'm saying I expect you guys to actually process some of this. And some of those questions were really advanced, okay? Some of those questions were really advanced, and they required some thought process. Anticipate putting forth the mindful effort to consider different concepts, okay? Don't just say, oh, that looks hard, I'm done. Next one, okay? That's not going to work. Yes, sir?
I forgot to tell you that.
2:30.
Yeah, I already told him.
Pictures. Baseball. So they are inverse operations. So back to the lesson. They are inverse operations. What do you think is the quotient for 12 and -4? Now, this is how this is different. We have the quotient. By the way, the quotient is the answer to a division problem. Okay? The quotient is the answer to a division problem. So what's the answer to the division problem if you're dividing 12 by -4? And look how similar it is to here. Here's a -12 divided by 4. Okay, Michael? It's going to be -3. What do you think is the quotient? It's going to be -3. Once again, we have a situation where if you have one negative integer, the quotient is going to be negative. If you have one positive integer, the quotient is going to be positive. So let's do this football field one. Use the football field below to represent the following problem. A football team was penalized a total of 35 yards in one game. If each penalty was 5 yards, how many penalties did they receive? Mandrew. 7. There were 7 of them. Good. 7 penalties. Words in the question, words in the answer. 7 penalties in the game. That's all right. I'm trying to mix it up. This class does have the best participation, though, by the way. Keep that up. It's good. A lot of personality in here. So, now I'm going to represent that when we do write the division problem that represents this information. So you agree that there is 7 penalties. Okay? It wouldn't be negative because they don't arrive to the football field and go like, hey, all right, you can do 4 offsides and 3 illegal blocking. So there's your -7 or so. Then you can start to be actually penalized because you have -7 penalties. Referees sometimes talk like middle schoolers. So let's have the, we'll go with navy blue. It'll be like the Rams. Okay? Easy. I didn't insult you just now, so don't shout out. Okay? Goodness. So they're starting at the 50-yard line. Okay, here's the Rams end zone, okay? So they're at the 50-yard line, and this is representing just the penalties. We just said that they had 7 penalties that are going to drop back to 35 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 35 yards. They want to go this way, but they went negative, right? So when we're doing this division problem, we have a negative 35 yards divided by how many yards, or how many yards was each one?
7.
Was it 5? Okay. Okay, so 5 yards. But wait, that would give us a negative 7. We can't have negative 7 penalties. Negative 5, yes. It's negative 5. And I'm going to put parentheses around here so I know that that's a negative 5 integer. So that makes that just 7. Because we went a total of 35 yards in the wrong direction, losing 5 yards a time. Losing negative 5 yards every time. Yep. Much easier than adding and subtracting. Yeah. Megan? We talk about Green Bay next. There. So, the Green Bay Packers football team was penalized for the same amount 4 times. Should be space there. During the third quarter. The total of 4 penalties was 60 yards. If negative 60 represents a loss of 60 yards, write a division sentence to represent the situation. What is that division sentence? Does someone want to try to tell me this one? What you got? Negative 60 divided by negative 4. Okay, because there was a total of 4 penalties. Write a division sentence for this sentence. Okay, if negative 60. Okay, now did they have negative 4 penalties? Did they have negative 4 penalties? You can't have negative 4 penalties. So that's a positive 4. That's a positive 4.
Yeah, because 2 negatives equals.
Because 2 negative, well, we're trying to see what's going to happen. So now express the number of yards each penalty as an integer. Now we're finding out how many yards did they lose each penalty. So here's the yards, here's the times, how many times that happened, and then from there we're going to have the result. So we have negative 60 divided by 4 is equal to negative. Good, because we have one negative integer with the division problem, so we know that the quotient is going to be negative. What is it? Negative, is it 20? It's going to be 15, close, 15.
Me, I said 20.
That's an easy mistake. That's fine. That's fine. Now, we're going to do all of these, and we're going to zip through them pretty quick, because I just want to make sure that you are doing the correct negative and positive. Please don't. Negative and positive. I expect you to know multiplication, and if you don't know multiplication, if you're not confident with that, I expect you to become confident by doing practice on your own. Okay? Practice on your own. If you have internet access, I expect you to do flashcards on the internet. If you have a smartphone, there are free flashcard things if you can just just ignore the ads every once in a while. But you guys have all this stuff available to you. You don't have to go to the store and buy flashcards necessarily like everybody else did before your age group. So we have right here, we have one, quiet please. We have one negative, I'm going to keep it blue. We have one negative here. So you know that our quotient is going to be negative. So 56 divided by 8, 7. So negative 7. Now, when I was a kid growing up, I always remember this, and I still remember it. And the way that I always remember that 8 multiplied by 7 is 56 is because of this. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you're a dancer, you probably just started thinking of dancing. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 105 divided by negative 7. This is only one negative integer. So we know that our solution, our quotient, is going to be negative. Caitlin. Negative 15. Did you do that in your head just now? Okay. If you wanted to do that in your head, you could think how 10 times 7 is 70. Then you have a 35 beyond that. 10 plus 5, because 5 times 7 is 35. Hey, make sure that there's nothing in your binder that you haven't turned in yet, because I see blanks. So, continuing on, moving along, we have 63 divided by 9. Those are both positive integers, so we know our quotient is going to be positive. Megan, what you got? Totally forgot about you. You know, then why don't you come see me? Hey, YouTube, you want to see what teachers sometimes do? They forget kids are in the hallway. I'm sorry. Here. 63 divided by 9 is going to be what, Webb? 7, positive. So now we have for number 5, we have 2 negative integers to find our quotient. And 2 negatives in English make a positive. So we have, and the way for you to do this one is, I'm going to take this 0 and bring it out here into the quotient. Now all it is just 24 divided by 6. Hi there. Let's see. Is he leaving right now? Because that'd be no. Okay. Is he in Claypool's room right now? Malone. Okay. I'll send one of my 7th graders down to there with that. Yes. Yes, in a little bit. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. We're gonna finish this first. So we're going to take that 0 and put it into the end. We know it's going to be positive, and all I have to do now is just 24 divided by 6, which is 4. And the answer is 40. Good. Good. Okay. Next one, 42 divided by negative 7. My quotient is going to be negative, and the answer is negative 6. Beautiful. I have negative 96 divided by a positive 24, and it's very close to $1, and 25 cents is a quarter, so I know that I'm going to divide that. It's going to be negative 4. The main idea here is if there's one negative with 2 things, it's going to be negative. There's 2, it's positive. 5, did we do that one? $40. Now, with this one, there is a section of your homework that's like this. I expect you to rewrite this whenever you are substituting for a variable. It is an expectation that you rewrite this when you are substituting for a variable on your homework. And remember, if you don't show your work on stuff like this, you get 50% off. And I'm not talking about a sale at Penny's. So I took this x, and I substituted 75 in there for x, and that's what this is here. Okay, they're both negative, so I'm going to be positive, and it's a positive 15. The reason why I'm going so fast right now, people, is because I expect you to know these how to divide at 7th grade. Okay. And if you're not confident with division, that's okay. but we don't have time to cover that here because we're covering more challenging stuff. So it's up to you to go ahead and build that confidence by doing practice with division. Okay? If you don't feel confident with it, you're not the only one. Question? What was that? Okay. So we're going to substitute this in here. I expect you to rewrite it, negative 50 over 5. Okay. Negative 50 over 5. Cole? Negative 10 is correct. I'm going to circle that. This one here, now my negative is going to be in the denominator on the bottom. It's still the same thing. I still have one of the divisors. One of the integers is negative. So I have 42 divided by negative 4. So it's going to be negative. Satrowski, what's the answer? She'll get it. Here's a little help. 14 times 2 is 28. It's 3. Negative 3. 3. Yes, sir? Yep, because multiplication is repetitive addition. Yep. Web? Aiden, please stop tapping. Thank you. Yeah, if you've got ways to work it in your head, that's good. Well, I guess I didn't erase this page. So when we have divide negative 54 by 9, there's only one negative integer there, so that means that the answer is going to be negative. So that would be negative 6. We also have divide 63 by negative 7. Once again, we only have one negative integer, so it's going to be negative. Find the quotient of 121 and 11. Now, the quotient is the answer to a division problem. So, for example, x divided by y is equal to z. Z is that quotient. Z is that quotient. Z is that quotient. That for any number x, y, z. For any number x, y, z. I'm just reminding you that quotient is the answer to a division problem, that's all. Because it's just any variable, any number. For any number x, y, and z, x divided by y is equal to the quotient, which is z. That's all I'm showing you. That's not something new. I'm just showing you that applies to everything. Joey? Nope, you don't need to. Yes? You need to know how to properly speak it. That's one of the things the 7th grade math program is doing. We're trying to get our usage more universal. And 11, 121 and 11, since it's two positive integers, the quotient is positive. And the quotient of negative 28 and negative 7 is a positive 4 because we have two negative integers. Yes, sir? Okay. Are there any questions, any further questions, Your Honor?